Our next guest is a popular musician, songwriter and actor both in South Africa and the international arena. Got me dancing in studio. He was listed on the New York Times Top 100 Artists to Watch in 2019. You might have seen him in films like The Wound, Two Eyes and Anthem. He has graced the covers of British Vogue magazine and the stages of Afro-punk in Paris and New York. On Monday evening, he'll be headlining Sounds from Africa, a new concert series promoting economic and social development across the continent. He joins us now from the UK. Nakhane, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And thank you for your time. I know you're a very, very, very busy person. Now, tell me a little more about the Sounds of Africa concert that you'll be hosting on Monday.
Well, it's a concert series that is held online, quite like what you were talking about before with the Jazz Festival, except I think with the, Sounds from Africa, we don't have many bands. I think a lot of us are solo artists. So it's quite a back to basics, the artist with the one instrument and their voice and the songwriting taking center stage. And I'll be performing on the 29th of June, so that's Monday. This is the second of the series. The first one was last week.
All right, now tell me, what are you doing in the United Kingdom? Have you found a new home in the UK? I remember 2 years ago, sometime in July to be exact, I was traveling in Paris, France, and somewhere along the lines there I was getting my bag checked in and I looked behind me and you were the person I see. So have you found a home in other places apart from South Africa?
Well, did you say hi?
Yes, I did say hi. I was like, hey, Nakhane, I'm from Joburg. It's so nice to see you. I had a full-on fan moment. But please go ahead and answer my question. What are you doing in the UK?
I live in London right now. I don't know for how long, but this is where I am right now. This is where the concept of home is really complicated, but I suppose this is home for now.
And talking about why you found a base in places like London, is it because your music has been received differently? Because you have a unique way to bring out an African authenticity about your music? I mean, when I saw you in Paris, you were leaving after doing a performance the night before. So I'm gathering that the European market likes and enjoys your sound.
Well, Well, I live in London because my label is based in France, and it's easier to travel to France back and forth than it is from Joburg, and it's cheaper for me, right? So that's one of the reasons why I moved to London. But I think one of my biggest markets, my second biggest market in the world is still South Africa. So I don't think that the Europeans listen to my music any differently to Africans. I just think that it was easier for me, and maybe I just needed a change.
And in terms of headlining the likes of Afro-punk, what was that experience like?
Wow, man. I didn't headline, but I did play. And it was one of the best shows I've ever played, especially the one in Johannesburg, because I played 3 of them. I played Joburg, Paris, and New York. And the one in Joburg was just incredible. It was about 2 years ago, and I remember just getting on stage and just being airlifted by spirituality. People were so positive. It was such a safe space, and people could be themselves. It changed my life, seriously.
Nakhane, you're also somewhat of a fashion icon, setting trends and dressing differently and being different in the way you show yourself, the way you identify as a human being. What has that done for you in terms of gracing pages like Vogue magazine, for instance? What has that done for you?
Well, I think a lot of people think I'm much more calculated than I am. I wish I were more calculated, because then I think I'd be further. But I think I just do things because I like them. I wear something because I like it. Not necessarily because there's an agenda. And if there is an agenda, I'll say it quite loudly and proudly. But most of the time, I do something because it feels good. There's so much in the world that doesn't feel good. So sometimes clothes are the thing that really make us feel good. And so I just do it.
As a fan of your music, I think it would be only fair to just dip into one of your music videos. So for people who are watching out there who don't know who you are, I don't know if they've been living under a rock, have a look at some of Nakhane's music. Always keeping us dancing, Nakhane. I just want to find out quickly your musical influence. Where do you get this different style and this authentic way of doing music from?
I grew up in a musical family. I grew up in a family of opera singers. And by the time that I had, or at least I could steal my dad's computer and go online, I was listening to music from all over the world. I was so hungry for it because I loved it so much, you know. And I still remember one morning my dad was taking me to school, and I kept on putting music on. And he said, "Don't you ever get tired of listening to music?" And I said, I was so offended. I was so offended. I was like, what do you mean, get tired of music? Do you get tired of music? And I think after that, I looked at him a little differently because I love music. And so I always want to try something new because there's always something new.
On a more pressing matter, I mean, we're facing issues like COVID-19 here in South Africa and the world. How's it affected you as an artist in terms of revenue and in terms of just having your mind right? Because, I mean, you are music, and it must be a little difficult when you're being restricted to performing to a live audience.
Well, I miss performing because it's my life, and I've been doing it since I was 7 years old. I really do miss that. Having said that, the stream that's happening on Monday is, I guess, a little nugget of it. You know, of course, there are no crowds in the same room as you, but you still get to perform music, and which I really feel lucky that I can even do that. But I think COVID has really screwed everyone over, really. You know, in the sense that a lot of musicians, I think, make most of the revenue from live performance and not from selling albums. And so, which is why I think we encourage people to donate on Monday when they watch the stream.
All right, Nakhane, before I let you go, what are the future projects? What can we expect from you? And when are you coming back home for a live performance?
Actually, I'm coming home as soon as this thing is over. We are planning a concept, but I can't say when. I have a new album that I'm working on. I'm at the end of making it right now. I'm writing a lot of articles at the moment. I have another album that has nothing to do with me that I'm singing on, and another collaborative project that I'm busy with, and the film coming out next year. So I'm quite busy.